Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about one of the methods of bottom-up approach for the synthesis of nanomaterials. Bottom-up approach is where fine particles are assembled together to build the nanomaterials by physical or chemical means. One of such chemical method includes the sol gel method. Well, the sol gel method is a chemical process for creating nanoparticles by transforming a liquid solution into a solid gel. In this video we will look at the general overview of this process. So the first step of the sol gel method involves hydrolysis, where you take a precursor solution which will have the starting material that provides the essential elements needed to form the desired nanoparticle. For example, for gold nanoparticles, for gold synthesis, we use chlororic acid, which contains the gold ions, and for titanium we use the titanium alkoxide. So you take this precursor solution and you put it into a solvent. In this case we are using water. The precursor solution won't dissolve in the solvent, won't dissolve in the water. It will spread out and form a suspension. This suspension is called sol. So the next step is condensation. The water is evaporated and the particles of the suspension that are left behind begins to join together, forming a network, eventually forming a semi-rigid mass with porous structure. Quote unquote, a gel is formed. Then we need to dry the gel. The remaining liquid is removed by drying. Depending on the method of drying, we can get three types of dried gel formation. First, using supercritical drying, where we use high pressure and high temperature to turn the solvent into a supercritical fluid, which is then removed. For this we get something called aerogel. Aerogel is highly porous material with low density. That means it has lots of space and high porous volume. Then we use the thermal drying. In thermal drying we use heat, extreme heat, to evaporate the solvent. For this we get something called zerogel, which is lower porous than aerogel and cryogel but most dense. It is the most dense out of all the three gels. So the next one is freeze drying, where we freeze the solvent, then remove it by turning it directly from solid to gas. So basically we remove it by sublimation method. For this we get something called cryogel, which is low density than zerogel but a little bit of high porosity, a bit of high porous volume. After we get the dried gel, the gels are then exposed to high temperature but is not melted, eventually turning it into a powder as the final product. So we got our desired materials in fine powdered form. The advantage of this method is that it's cheap, it's simple to follow, simple to construct. You can get uniform nanostructure at low temperature. It's very highly pure and you can get films with different porosity. For example, you can either go for the most dense gel or the most porous gel, depending on which type of drying method you are going to take. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.